Pummel Party has always been one of those party games that I always enjoyed. And it is one of the best one that I ever tried, honestly. And this is for a good amount of reasons. The concept of the game is pretty simple. You have a board where the majority of the play of the game actually takes place. And then there are mini games that are from a turn and another from a round and another round. And those are pretty simple games that are actually designed to have winners in order to collect keys and items that you can use during the board games. And the final end goal of the game is to actually reach at least in the beginning from the default setting of the game is to reach 4 trophy. I don't want to talk that much about the original game, but I want to talk more from a game designing perspective um, of the actual mods that are present inside the game, because a game like this is really open to a lot of different mods, and those mods cover from different boards where you can play to I don't know, different mini games and things like that. So everything that you can have inside a game could be completely modded and changed. There are a lot of mini games that you can add, so as a lot of boards. But as you can imagine, since it's a game that it has a lot of different mods and different uh, boards added inside the game, there are a lot of those that are good, a lot of those that are not that great. And I don't want just to judge saying this is bad, this is good. But I want to analyze more of the different mods that I tried inside the game and saying which one I like and for why I like them, and which one I disliked and why I do dislike them. So, hope this is fine with you. Let's move inside the mods. One of the weakest point of modding for Pummel Party is actually the different birds that you can use. Because although there is a huge variety of those birds, a lot of them are really not that balanced and not that well designed. There are a lot of different things that those birds can add, but a lot of those are in commons. Are in common. I want to share with you before the negative spectrum of what you can encounter in those mods, and then moving to the positive one, because this is just the order I approach those mods. Although those birds are almost always covered with good ideas and wonderful aesthetics, the same can be said from a game design perspective. Because what happens inside a game is that Pummel Party is extremely balanced in the way it actually works. There is a good amount of items, and those are well matched with one another, and there is a specific drop rate that when respected enhances the game when respected, because a lot of those birds actually presents different oh, I don't know how to say this, like there's a lot that you move on. I don't know what's the proper word. Boxes, let's call them boxes. So basically there are some boxes that are called shops, and inside those shops you can actually buy with your keys that are actually the value inside the game. So you can trade some of your keys with some items, but a lot of the time those items are actually very cheap to buy, and this is a big problem in a well balanced game. Because what a lot of people actually confuse is that when you have a good item, it's good to use it, and it's nice to have it, okay? But this is not just because of the item. This is also because how you get to have it. And if this is becomes something very easy to obtain, it loses a lot of its values. And that's the main reason why a lot of those actually good birds that could be interesting are actually ruined by those shops. You can have almost free access to good items in a very cheap and easy way, and this a lot of the time ruins the experience of the players. And then another thing to consider is that a lot of those birds are actually enormous. They're gigantic. And although this is wonderful from an aesthetic perspective to see these enormous places and almost always with good emotion and wonderful design, from a visual perspective, almost every bird I tried is wonderful. Like, a lot of them are very good, and this is the reason why I test them, because they're very appealing to see, and this is wonderful. But those are not always well designed, in the sense that if you have such a huge space where you have to walk on, there is less a possibility of encounter with other players. Now, the way I tested the birds is always with 4 players. So a thing that I have to say is that maybe with more players, those birds actually came alive in a better way. Maybe they are more, they are richer in life and things like that. But a lot of those birds were actually pointed as 4 players birds. So I test them thinking that it could actually work for 4 players, and that was not always the case. So having gigantic maps where you can move comes with 2 major problems. The first one is that you have to place a lot of boxes, and this becomes a very slowed down game where it's difficult to reach the different trophy inside the game. More than that, when you have huge maps, it's difficult to encounter other players, and a lot of this game is actually played with other players, interacting with them, stealing them keys with a magnet, and things like that. If you are not close to other players for the entirety of the game, you don't enjoy the huge part and investment of fun and engaging moments that you can have with other players. And this actually it's not good. And this happens both if you have a lot of boxes and if you have boxes that are, well, a lot distance between with one another, because a lot of the time you have gigantic maps, and since maybe the game designer actually thought about I can't use a lot of boxes, otherwise it would be pretty painful to reach one point and another. Even if this works better than adding a lot of boxes, it doesn't work well for the same engaging part of the game, because The range inside the different items actually works on the board remains the same. So you have the same problem of not being able to engage with other players, and this is sad to see actually when you have beautiful scenery where you could actually play and enjoy more, because once you try them 2 or 3 times because you enjoy the visual, you don't play it anymore. And then the last point that I want to touch, talking about the different maps, a lot of those maps implement system of teletransportation, and this is not always cool because basically you have a map that it looks linear, and it is linear in concept, but when you're actually playing in terms of bases, this is all fragmented. So the same problem show us where you can't actually meet people in the same way, and it also remove readability from the game itself, and so yeah, not always cool. But let's talk about mini games, because finally in this section there will be a lot more positivity, because there are a lot of games that actually works. And what I'm going to talk about is not about the kind of mini games that I disliked in its totality, but more talking about those kind of details inside of a game that ruin completely the experience. By the way, before to continue talking about mods, I want to say just some words even about the original game, because a lot of the games are well designed and the mini games work fine and are beautiful to play, but sometimes that's not that true. AI is terrible. Almost in every game, AI is terrible because it's designed to be extremely weak or extremely strong. This is not balanced. Like a true balancing would be having an AI that maybe sometimes it's very strong, maybe sometimes it's not that strong, because everybody can do some mistakes. So it's not programmed to resist like from 40 to 50 seconds. No, a balanced experience around AI should be done through a lot of testings and then understanding, okay, the players generally that are good, if I set it on hard, the players that are good resist from this to this, so from 20 to 30. And then you try to set an AI that could actually last inside this kind of range. So you obtain an AI that is difficult, but it's not overwhelmingly difficult. And then you can also develop some randomness inside of it. So you can have, I don't know, a 10% chance that it actually lasts way more or way less. This add variety, and also a sense of randomness, a sense of I don't actually know, so I will play my best. And this kind of imprevisibility makes feeling wise. It's not something that actually is true, but it makes it feel an AI like it is a little bit more human. And there are those games where you can actually be sure that the AI actually can't win. And obviously this problem is way more prominent inside the games added from mods and modders. And okay, this is fine. I don't know how modders could actually make it work. I think they should script the AI themselves so that it could actually work and understand the game, and this doesn't always happen, and I don't know, it's fine. Then some of those mini games that instead were added from modders, Some of them works pretty well. Some of them are really not that much planned, because there are a lot of mini games that has been added inside the catalog, just as a catching as a catchy title. It is the clickbait for modders that is actually creating games that comes from, I don't know, Squid Games and things like that. A lot of them are really not fucked at all, because you can find the worst of all that comes to mind right now is a game that comes from Squid Game. It is the glass bridge. So you have basically two different way, and those are crafted. So you have glass, a plate of glass on one side, and a plate of glass on the other side. Only one of those, when you jump on it, it actually breaks, and so you fall and you die. And if this is something that could actually work inside of a media as a TV series, because you have that moment of tension, and I'm thinking about who is going to be the first one that's trying to jump. This makes a lot of sense inside of a TV series. It doesn't make it at all inside of a game that is designed to be a game where you should be a winner if you deserve to win, not if it happens just randomly. Because when you have a dynamic like that, no one will be the player that is actually willing to jump on the next plate. And this is just a game that is very boring, and it's filled of waiting. It's not a game to me. And then of course there are even some mods that actually doesn't work at all. Some mods that have a time that is infinite, so you can't die and you can't have a way to actually continue with the game after the experience that you had inside the minigame. The game begins and stops when the minigames actually start. Those are obviously off. I don't know, maybe some kind of test should be present. It comes to mind even Super Mario Maker, the one that you can actually build random level, and once you develop the structure of the game, they wanted you to finish the level, so that the game can actually understand, okay, this is doable. Maybe something like that should be implemented inside Pummel Party, so that you don't end up with those extremes. And yeah, that was everything. I mean, it has been just something that I wanted to talk about, and this video was not scripted. If you like it, leave just a comment, and if you know that this is just not the last video that you're going to see of this kind of content, because it's pretty unique, I think, from a game designer perspective. I don't know. Please consider subscribing and bring a little bit of support for this channel. Leave a thumbs up, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you soon.